Do you want to know how to teach toddlers patience? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. And I know that toddlers and patience don't usually go in the same sentence, but it is possible. That's what we're talking about here. In this video, we're going to be talking about why toddlers struggle a little bit with patience, and then I'm going to be sharing with you some key skills that you can teach your children so that they can develop patience even as toddlers. We've all been there. We're at the store, the child is hungry, or maybe they're tired, or they want to go to a certain aisle at the store, and they're screaming and they're crying because it's not happening soon enough for them. What are they doing at that time? They are trying to control the circumstance. They want to be in control. Toddlers can be very controlling. Oftentimes when they are nagging, whining, screaming, hitting, getting angry, complaining, all of those things are an effort to control. So if we are going to teach our toddlers how to be patient, we have to let them know that it's okay for them not to control everyone else. In fact, the whole goal is not controlling everyone else around you, but controlling yourself. We have to help our children at all ages, even in the toddler stages, understand that paradigm, that the goal is self-control, not control of others. I teach self-government. This channel is called the Teaching Self-Government channel. My website is Teaching Self-Government. My podcast is the Teaching Self-Government podcast. So what is self-government? Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So what that means is that you understand cause and effect and you understand how to control you. That is a powerful thing to learn. Let's be honest, we all know adults that don't know how to self-govern. So is it really possible for a child to self-govern? The answer is yes. Children can learn sometimes even more easily than adults how to control and analyze themselves. The reason why is that they don't have a lifetime of excuses for their bad behavior. Their habits are not as deeply rooted yet. So when a child is a toddler, it is vital that you do not put up with the tantrums and the hitting and the biting and the screaming and the whining. We've got to nip those things quickly so that they develop the skills that will really help them develop the patience and the good communication for the future. We're going to talk about some principles that you can use and some skills that will be vital for teaching your children patience. But first, do you see that subscribe button there? Click it now. That'll help you see more videos just like this. There are skills of self-government that really are not just for toddlers, they're for everyone. They're just adult skills, but I've got some great books here that teach the skills to toddlers. The 4 basic skills of self-government are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. If a person learns all 4 of these 4 basic skills, that actually takes care of 99% of their behavioral problems. So that would mean instead of whining, I disagree appropriately. That would mean instead of hitting, I drop the subject and accept the no answer. That would mean that instead of screaming, I choose to say okay and follow the instruction. Children can learn these skills for self-government, but parents have to learn the skills too, and parents need some other skills as well to help their children be able to use these skills in the moment. I have other books. I've written 11 books, but here's another one that you definitely should know about. This is the one that I'm most known for. It's called Parenting a House United. And in this book, it talks about the 5 skills that parents need in order to instruct and correct their children if things start going wrong. When your child is showing that they don't have a lot of patience, then probably you're needing to do some teaching or some correcting. One of the most important teaching styles that a parent can practice is something called pre-teaching. So what is pre-teaching? There's 3 types of pre-teaching. I'm not going to get into all of those right now because then I wouldn't get to some of the other things that I feel like are super important for us to learn on this topic of patience. But just so you know, pre-teaching is when you prepare a person to succeed. You teach them ahead of time so that in the moment they can know what they should do and they know what their outcomes will be as well. So when a person learns self-government, they learn cause and effect and they practice self-evaluation. This means that a person needs to be preparing them consistently to see the cause and effect and to self-evaluate. So you can pre-teach someone in the moment, right before something's going to happen, or you can pre-teach them significantly ahead of time. Both are effective and both should be utilized to help a child learn patience. So when a child is trying to control their parents or get a message through to their parents, what does that child need to be pre-taught? Well, maybe they need to be pre-taught to accept a no answer because they don't get to be in control right now. Or maybe they need to be pre-taught how to disagree appropriately and what words to say that would help you listen to them. Just so you know, children don't come wired knowing how to disagree appropriately. Sometimes you have to spoon feed them the words and they repeat them right back to you and you show them how those words work to get their point across so that they don't have to have the tantrum in the future. So disagreeing appropriately is going to be a skill that you will definitely want to pre-teach in the moment and ahead of time. Now let's say we're in a circumstance where the child has to wait. There's nothing you can do about it. You've pre-taught that they might have to wait, but you know this is going to be a hard wait for them. Do not, under any circumstance, go on to your phone. Don't do it. Make sure that you stay attentive with your child. Talk to them. Let them know what's going on. In fact, describing to them what is going on can help. Describing is a type of narration that quiets the brain. It helps them get the information they need to know that they'll be okay. Also, just looking at them and saying, it's okay. You'll be okay. We're going to be done in a few minutes. I will set a timer for how many minutes it's going to take. You can watch the timer. Or I know for some children, they have a hard time in the car. The parents will make sure that the children sit in a way where they can see the GPS on the car. I know some parents have even allowed a child to hold a tablet with GPS so that they can track where they're driving, so they know they're going somewhere, so that they can get there and feel like it's okay to have gone on that trip. Be attentive. Give the child more information, not less. If you want your child to melt down, stop talking to them. But if you want them to choose to be okay and more patient, keep the conversation flowing and do it in a way with a tone that shows you're calm, you know everything is going to be okay, so they can know that too. Praise your children for patience. Let them know this is a good thing. Tell them you waited. You chose to be calm. You had a calm voice, face, and body. If you're learning those 4 basic skills, you will have taught them what a calm face, voice, and body mean. So then you can very easily praise it by telling them exactly what they did and explain to them also why it's good for them to have a calm face, voice, and body. They chose to be happy. It made things go faster. Let them know a reason that would matter to them. Good rationales are part of a good praise. While we're talking about praise, don't forget the power of positive consequences. So many parents will make sure they never drop the ball to follow through on a negative consequence because they want to be consistent about corrections, but they don't utilize positive consequences very much. If you explain to your child in a pre-teach ahead of time that there will be a positive consequence for their patience, then they will want to follow through. Well, make sure that you have that positive consequence, of course, but just telling them ahead of time that something good is coming when they are choosing to keep a calm face, voice, and body might give them the motivation that they need to follow through with that patience for a while. Did you ever hear of that experiment that was done on children where they gave them a marshmallow and they said if they could wait for 15 minutes that they would then get 2 marshmallows instead of 1, but most children couldn't do it? It's because that thing was staring them right in the face. Now, some children could. They had been trained to wait. They had been praised. But for a lot of children that have something staring them right in the face like a piece of candy, it's very hard. So you might teach your child to think about something else if they have a temptation right in front of them. You might teach them that they can give themselves a no answer and that that's a strong thing to do. They can sing a song or read a story or think about something else while they're waiting. These aren't then distraction techniques as much as deliberate practices, deliberate techniques to change the function of the brain for a short period of time so that they can practice patience and know that they are successful. Praising children and teaching children how to change the track in their brain without having to be externally distracted is actually very powerful. And toddlers can use this. But it's not just toddlers that need it. Everyone needs patience. Everyone needs to teach themselves how to disagree appropriately, accept no answers, and all of those 4 basic skills. If you're interested more in how to teach your toddler or any of your children's self-government, then I recommend that you watch my next class, which is a full class all about disagreeing appropriately. Watch full class about disagreeing appropriately next.